Hello, hello. Welcome, welcome. Thank you guys for jumping on and listening today. I have Stacy and Amber here, and I am Cassie, and we are going to be doing kind of a round robin interview style, just fun podcast about what life is like as coach partners with Body, where we started, where we are now, and basically just like getting to know who we are on our team and what it looks like to be a coach. So I do have my little assistant here, June. So I apologize if you're hearing noise in the background. Moms are welcome on our team. But I want to get started first by saying I have been coaching with these two ladies since almost the start of my journey 9 years ago. They have been involved with what we do either as clients, and then they came on as coach partners, which has been amazing. I grew up with these two ladies, which is even cooler experience to reconnect with them, after high school and be able to do life together. And it's just been the coolest experience. So both these ladies have been working full time. The entire time they have been health and wellness coaches with Body, formerly Beachbody, and working on their own health and fitness journey and have overcome a lot. So it's so cool to be able to interview them today and hear about their coaching story and what goes along with that. So number one, I'm going to start with Amber on the top here. Amber, okay, so you went from full-time job in sales, and recently, because of coaching, you have had the opportunity to transition to more part-time. June's in on this interview. I'm curious, what was that transition like? How did you get to where you are today?
Sure. So, I have been a coach now for 8.5 years, and I really just started my journey needing that added accountability to my own health, and then realizing that through coaching, I was feeling this purpose that I didn't know I had to lead others. And oddly enough, that's also helped transition to my full-time job, which is in sales, where currently I am a sales manager. I supervise others as well, and realized my calling to want to be in that kind of leadership role, training role, the ability to help others develop their skills and talents. And so I've been able to do that with coaching as well, which is why I think it's filled such a void that I've had in my life. So yes, so recently this past year, I was able to drop down to 80% time. And here's what's happening in my life right now. I have two active, busy kids. I have an 11-year-old and a 6-year-old daughter. Both are active in activities, and I see friends and family who have kiddos that are busy with stuff every night at all weekend long. And we were starting to enter that season. And I saw them just being stressed out, anxious, super overwhelmed. And I was starting to feel that. Like, I was starting to be like, there's not enough time in the day to do laundry, to do dishes, to have connections with people. And I'm like, oh God, I don't want to ever. I always said I never want to be that stressed out, anxious, overwhelmed mom. Like, I just don't want that to be. But I love my career. I love my full-time job. And I didn't want to leave that fully to allow complete schedule and time freedom, so I would have that time for other stuff. And fortunately, in my role with my company I work for, we had an option to go to 80%. And because I've been working this business for a while, I've built some added income to allow for that pay cut, basically, without it restricting us financially. And then it's given me that extra time. I get a day a week that I get to get all this stuff done or get all of our appointments in that day, whatever it is. So I'm not cramming every piece of life into the weekend when we even have weekends, which sometimes we don't even have weekends because we're going to kids stuff on the weekends too. So it has just given me that opportunity, and it's opened up so much joy and happiness in my life because of that, because I'm not the stressed out, overwhelmed, crabby mom all the time. So that's where I'm at right now in coaching, and it's just been amazing.
I'm going to pass it over to Stacey too. And I mean, Stacey came into this, you were not yet a mom when you started coaching. So we were kind of in the same season. And so she was living out in DC and then moved home and having kiddos. And so she's been through like all the seasons while being a health coach and working full time. So tell us more about that.
Yeah. So when I started, honestly, I started my journey just wanting to be able to be healthier. I had a car accident a couple years before that and really had a lot of limitations of what I was able to do physically, but also it was wrecking on me mentally. I too was working full time then and as well as now, but I just wasn't feeling fulfilled, and I was doing things I enjoyed but had those limitations, and coaching was an opportunity for me to take things to a different level than I had been living prior to that. So it got me back to where I could actually do a push-up and do a full workout, and I got to have that community, and I just felt like something clicked. I had something that had been missing and didn't have the community before. I didn't have the freedom to do different things, and this allowed me to get that. And how I kind of transitioned it with work is, honestly, it helped me schedule out and be more organized. I still like to consider myself somewhat of a free spirit with my time, but I felt like this made me be a lot more intentional. And so I would get up earlier, but do it intentionally and have that time. Now I've kind of transitioned to, as a mom, having a busy lifestyle too. I've already built that schedule. So I know to get up early, to be able to run my business, run my day from the beginning, and have that time for myself, so that not only can I take care of myself first and fill my cup, but then be able to fill the cup for others. And I wanted others people to see that too, that you can do this in those different times of your life. You can do it while you're working, while you're a busy mom or a busy grandma or whatever that is. You can make this work for you. This is something that is more about making it be part of your life instead of you having to change your life for it. So I think that's kind of my biggest thing, is just the freedom it allows and the opportunity it gives.
For sure. That busy schedule. I know, Amber, you said you have a lot going on. So Stacey kind of spoke to this already, but like, how do you get things done with your coaching business and work, but also like still having time with your family? How do you make that all work?
Um, Prior to coaching, I would say I wasn't a morning person. I slept until my alarm was being snoozed 3 times. I would roll out of bed, shower, get my butt to work, so I made myself a morning person, which I found out I actually really was a morning person. I was just not wanting to admit it. So I made myself a morning person. And for me, that meant getting up an hour to an hour and a half earlier than I needed to, in order to give me at least 45 minutes to an hour to work this business. And that's exactly how I built this from day one. Was I wake up at between 4:30 and 5 o'clock in the morning, and I work for an hour. I work out right after that, and then it's go time with shower, kids, breakfast, out the door. I do take advantage when I have free time during my day to just respond to messages quick. The great thing is this can be done on our phone. This can be done via voice text. We can talk to people in person. Like, there's no limits to how we work and where we work. So that's exactly what I did. I focus my intentional work time is in the morning when I can, and then cracks of my day sometimes at night, but very rarely, because evenings are for my family.
I love it. I feel like we have the same life now. We're up at the same time, and yeah, same. And I love that. Like, our company and what we do is all about taking care of ourselves first and serving our families. And, our professional life comes after that, but we're still very goal oriented and want us to succeed. But I mean, when we're taking care of ourselves and our family like that, I feel like the goals and all that come naturally because your cup is full, like Stacey's saying. So I love that, you guys. One thing that I look back on, because I helped you two get started with your journey with coaching, and I think about like what questions you have and hesitations. So I'm curious to hear from you two, like, what was a question that you had when you were wanting to get started as a coach, looking back? And I don't care who starts this one. Stacey.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think it was a question, but it was a big hesitation, to be honest. Was I'm not in my perfect health. I kind of shared before that I was struggling with my health. I wasn't able to do a lot of activities like hiking or different things that I had done before. I couldn't do the push-up. I couldn't do any of those. So I was like, how the heck am I going to be coaching somebody else on how to do something that I'm not a pro at? And the good thing is you never have to be a pro. You just have to be yourself. And that's what's really cool too, is that you can just share your journey, and there is somebody who's going to be connected to that wherever you are. But then they also like to see like Amber or Cassie or myself, like getting from point A to the next point and seeing like, I really can do that. So it's almost like better to share the hard part you came from than being the perfect person, because I know myself, if I see somebody who's perfect, I can't relate to them. Like, that's not me. It will never be me. So that was my biggest hesitation. And then I realized that it was actually something that could be my biggest asset. So that was probably my biggest hesitation or question for really if I could be a good coach and help others.
Yeah, and I guess I'll just Cassie.
Go for it, Amber.
Okay,
No, that's
I'll
great.
just go ahead and share mine. And I would say that was a hesitation of mine as well. But the other thing, and it's funny because I actually had used this excuse before, because I had been asked to be a coach prior to Cassie asking me. And I was like, oh, girl, no, I'm way too busy. I don't have time. I don't need to add any more to my plate. And at that time, I only had one child and she was 3. So we weren't busy. Yeah. Like busy in a different way, but not like, I look back and I'm like, oh, like, no offense, people tell me they're busy when they have one child and they're a toddler. I'm like, just wait till you're running them everywhere. So for me, it was the time thing. And that was I had to get over myself, and I had to get over that limitation, because that limitation is on me, because there are ways to find the time if you truly want it. And that honestly is pretty much, I feel like, what Cassie told me was, let's think about your schedule now. Where can we find the time? And when I started, it was, hey, why don't you get up to start with 30 minutes earlier? Let's just work for 30 minutes and then your workout. And oh, hey, maybe after you put Brinley, that's my daughter's name, to bed, maybe there's a little bit of time there that you can respond to some messages and check into some groups, et cetera, et cetera. So for me, it was just overcoming that and truly believing, yes, there is time in my day. I just need to find it or create it. And I did. And I have ever since.
Yes.
And I still don't work more. I still don't work more than an hour a day on this. And I'm building a part-time income that keeps increasing and allowing more opportunities.
Yeah. And I think our capacity expands the longer we do this, because we can do things more efficiently and we know what we're doing. I think in the beginning, like working those chunks of your day and learning how things work and all that. So lastly, I just want to ask you ladies about health esteem. And this is something that our company loves to talk about. I know when I started Beachbody, now Body, back in the day, we were all about the transformation pictures and, kind of like the diet culture. And we've really moved away from that. And don't get me wrong, I still believe in the power of a transformation and a transformation photo. I'm all for that. But everybody's transformation is different. And I think about how like all of us are moms and loving ourselves through every season that our body and our life has gone through, and how we can embrace our health through all of that, as well as like the impact that we're having as coaches, whether it's financial changes that we've had in our life. And so really thinking of health esteem as like authentically you. What does that mean to you when you feel your best, when you're serving your best? So I'd love to hear from you ladies. How do you feel your health esteem has been impacted since partnering with Body as a coach? Go for
How
it.
has it not?
I know, right?
I can go first on this one. I think for me, I really love kind of that transition, like you also talked about, that we've taken of that health esteem of it gets rid of the idea of perfection or that you can't have a bad day. Like we're all going to have setbacks, and it's not like, oh, I missed one day, now it's over, I have to start over. Oh, I'll start the next Monday, whatever. Just do it the next day. It's fine. And that's part of health esteem, is not perfection. It's about growing and being where you are and being, in the moment, intentional. I feel like for me now, it's also, you know, I'm setting an example for my kids. They're seeing me take time for myself, that's okay. It's okay to take a step back and do what you need to do. And, you know, showing them that. And then I also get to share my team, or show my team that what's possible too. Again, not about perfection. It's about trying to strive to be better every day, learning and growing, having the community. I mean, I could go on, but I mean, that's probably for me the things that hit the highest and are most important to me right now.
I was literally just writing down words because if I don't, I'm going to talk for the next 20 minutes on what health esteem means to me and how it's impacted me.
Oh
So,
my gosh, same girl.
right? So to keep this short and if you want to have that one-on-one with me, I will share my guts, but I don't want to do that right now for the sake of trying to keep this prompt. But I think about health esteem and the person I was to the person I am now, two totally different people. From the standpoint of how I feel, the energy I have, and my mindset. And so the words I just wrote down were gratitude. Prior to body, prior to coaching, prior to taking care of myself, I was not grateful for, I was grateful, but I wasn't expressing that gratitude. Instead, I was always being the victim. I was victimized by everything. And so when I flipped that script, and it was because of the community we have encouraging us to every morning gratitude journal. You know, think about what you're grateful for in a bad situation versus how, oh, woe is me in that bad situation. And that keeps us from going down the spiral. So gratitude, consistency. Hello, I would work out for like a week, and then I forgot to mention I travel for work too. So I would be gone maybe 2 nights, 3 nights a week, especially prior to coaching in kids. And I still am gone at least on average 1 night a week. And so I would literally work out for a week and be like, oh, I've got a work trip, not gonna work out. And then I would stop working out for 2 months. So this has gotten me consistent. It's gotten me consistent in my health routine. It's gotten me consistent in how I eat and my habits, but it's just gotten me consistent in mindset and personal growth and development as well. Belief is another word. Belief in myself. I was a pretty confident person. I've always have been, but I didn't truly believe I was capable of what I've been able to achieve. And so body and this community has brought me the ability to believe in myself to then go and achieve whatever the heck I want to, and I'm doing it. And that's awesome. Thinking about my future, I was never asked to dream about what I really want, right? So now I'm living in the moment and present and here, but I'm always thinking about what is it that I want. So what does life look like in 10 years from now, and what do I need to do now to help me achieve that? Connection and faith. And I'm going to put those two in one because the community of coaches that we are part of, this group of 3 women or 2 other women right here, and the rest of our community and coaching team brought me back to God. And I'm totally okay expressing my belief and faith in God and Jesus Christ, our Savior. And I was not in a good place with my faith prior to coaching. And I believed, but I wasn't expressing it. I wasn't showing it. I wasn't showing up as a servant. And this has allowed me to do that. And I've been encouraged to express that and be open about my faith, and that kind of community I was missing. And the fact that God brought this to me, and brought these people back into my life and these connections, he knew that's what I needed. And it's amazing that it was able to be through this opportunity where I get to go out and serve others the same way. So that's health esteem to me. Like, all of those things have just made me a better human, a better mother.
So good, you guys. I know I was thinking this morning, and then we'll wrap this up after I share this, but after we got off our power hour, which is our work session that we have through Zoom every morning with a handful of coaches, and more than a handful, like 4 handfuls. But I'm just so grateful because every morning we don't wake up and have to deal with like negative personalities or people complaining about their jobs, at least within our team, right? We wake up to people who are making really funny jokes on our Zoom. And like, I asked, like, what are your weekend plans? And we're cracking up about different things, practicing gratitude. Like Amber said, like, it's truly uplifting. And we're all very concerned about like, how are you doing in your business? How are you doing in your life? How can I pray for you? Like, we truly are in this caring, uplifting community, which I think is so rare in today's age. So yeah,
So much good
amazing.
energy.
Yes, the energy is contagious. So thank you, ladies, so much for hopping on and sharing. And if you're watching this back, please reach out to one of us if you have questions about, the more technical side of what we do as health and wellness coaches with Body. We would love to share more about the compensation plan, our daily habits and all that, what it's like to be a mom and be a coach. We're happy to share all of it. But yeah, thank you so much for hopping on. Hope to talk to you soon.
Take care.
Thank you. Bye.